This week we are revisiting a well-loved creative self-care, relaxing bit of art making I enjoy regularly, but with a new twist. Welcome to Better with Art. I'm Melinda, and I'm here to encourage you to reclaim your creativity and practice creative self-care with weekly small art prompts that can be done in an art journal or on paper if you don't have one. The twist on this piece of neurographic style art that I prepared this example for the art journaling group at the library where I work is particularly useful if you are not quite ready for art making when you sit down at the time you have for art making, or if you're not ready to sit down. Look around your house for items that are small enough to fit on your page that you can trace. If you're concerned about getting marker on them, you can always trace them with a pencil first and then go back over with your black marker or whatever color you choose. I have out my Sharpie, and the first mark I'll put on my paper is to give myself a bit of a frame to work in. I don't always make frames, but I think for the way we are doing this today, it works really well. So the next thing to do is trace your items. You can probably see I had scissors when I made that piece at the library. I hope the microphone is picking up the sound of the marker. It can be quite relaxing itself. And the only thing I can really think of to say at the moment is, I don't know how things have been going for you, but I am exhausted and cannot catch up with myself. So my lines are a little wobbly, not perfectly consistent, and that's okay. For one thing, it's just my art journal, and for another, all that wobbliness, things you think are messy, can work just fine in the final product. And even if they didn't, that shouldn't have been so close together, but that's okay. And even if you don't enjoy how the final product looks, that's not what it's about. It's about enjoying the process, relaxing, getting caught up in the motion of our hands with the marker, the simple tracing. And many of you know what's next. I think I'm just going to partially trace it this time. Well, I didn't mean to be in the middle. Yeah. It's okay. As I was saying, it's about the process, not the product. I failed to notice the bumps on this. And I also didn't intend to get marker on it quite like that, but it's just a recyclable that I'm using as an art tool in various ways. So one option you have is to trace your items and then add wavy lines across your page. Ignoring the shapes that are already there. So something like, okay, I guess that's not exactly ignoring the shapes that are already there, but just adding lines. This may be one of the most combobulated or the most discombobulated piece of neurographic art I've made. And that's okay. I'm relaxing as I make my lines and encourage you to do the same. It was a long, stressful day in a long, stressful week. And, well, it feels good to just sit and practice creative self-care with art making. So the next thing to do in this style of neurographic type art is to get rid of all the pointy bits, all the jagged. Anywhere where those lines come together. We just take away that pointy part and soften it. And yes, there are different ways to do this. As I'm kind of doing now, where I'm tracing the lines basically and filling in those sharp areas. I think when I started this, I started with the corners, but then, yes, I was kind of tracing. You don't have to go down your lines at all, but I do like how that can change the shape of the lines in interesting ways. Another option is to just straight up draw a rounded shape within the shapes that are there. Which, that's feeling pretty comfortable. And here's another thing. If it feels good to do so, and you want, you can always just change it up with the shape. Make a larger space smaller. Of course, I didn't intend to cross those over, so I do need to kind of soften that up. As I say, do what works for you. I should probably already be asleep now. But this is both a good way to wind down and relax my brain. to finish my Sunday video for you. Your weekly reminder that taking time to make art is not a waste of time. Creativity is important to our mental health, and mental health is important. And if your lines get away from you like mine just did, don't worry about it. I sort of tidied them up in a way that felt good then. I'm so tired, my eyes just crossed. Anyway. I should perhaps have tried to scrub my hands a little more, but it'll come off. And for now, I'm just enjoying making art and the opportunity to encourage you to encourage you, if you are someone who loves to make art but haven't been, to reclaim your creativity. And regardless of how much art you are making, if you are making art, also encourage you to, well, keep doing so. And if you're not finding it relaxing because you're only focusing on the product, I encourage you to just remember to also use it for creative self-care. Just make the art for the pleasure of it, not for the result. Well, I guess that is a result, but not a tangible one. What would be the best way to say that? Just make art. And just make art for art's sake sometimes. For all of you, regardless of how much art you are making or aren't, I am here once a week with a small art prompt. A simple, bit of small art. Not intimidating, no pressure, and also ones that can be done in just a few minutes if that's all you have. So you could have used larger, you can use larger objects, you can have your lines further apart, you can just do this in a quick few minutes. Of course, there's always the option of starting something like this and coming back to it as you have time. I'm honestly not sure how long I've been doing this. And I probably went a little overboard getting lines close together if I want to have a not overly long video for you to enjoy. and still have time for all those other things that your day needs to contain. As you can see from my sample, the next step is color. Or if you decide you don't want color and you just want to do some black and white patterning in your created shapes, that works too. Or if you only have time for the neurographic part, again, whatever works for you. As long as you're taking some time, to make some art without any particular goal in mind, aside from making the art. Yeah, that's a little messy. That's okay. So as I said, if you are doing this art in an art journal, one of the benefits is you can feel free to experiment and express yourself without fear of what others will think. If you just have paper, that's okay. And if you want to keep it private, try a folder or something. Your art journal is as private as you want it to be. I share my mishaps with this art journal, as well as things I enjoy how they come out, to encourage you to make your own art. But you can keep your art journal as private as you would like. If you find that you would like to share your artwork or just where you are in your creative self-care journey, there will be a link in the description for you to sign up for a link to join the Better with Art community in our private Facebook group. You will also receive email from me, but it's been a while since I have gotten out an email, and when I do get consistent with it again, I will tell you it will be no more than once a week, so you don't have to worry about me spamming you. But I really would like to get back in the habit of sending out more encouragement to your inbox. Creative self-care encouragement. I am prepping for my first online workshop, which will be my outside art journal art, translucent layer collage making, called Seeking Solace, based on the two pieces that inspired it. They are abstract landscapes with only translucent layers. And although my collage making is also very much my outside the art journal art, this workshop will start with practice that we do in an art journal. Again, to take that pressure off for you to achieve something you feel like you would like to show people. So if you're interested in that or other upcoming workshops and demonstrations, that will be an online workshop. So there will be other online workshops, but also in-person workshops and demonstrations and shows where you can see my art or see and purchase my art and art jewelry, perhaps meet me. But in my online and in-person workshops, I'm excited to be able to invite you along to create with me, both inside and outside an art journal. So this, as I said, is a little more detailed than maybe is great for a video. I don't think I'm doing horribly on time. Although my aim is to have things 15 minutes or less. But again, I have explained how you can hit that. Or I like to have a 5-minute option, if that's all you have. And if you have more than 15 minutes and you are enjoying this, the pleasure can be extended as long as you would like. As well as color, there's the option to add shapes and texture, little designs. So these are my Amazon permanent markers. Amazon's version of Sharpies, I guess you could say. Well, Sharpies because more people are familiar with them. Don't have much of a plan for where I am placing my colors, and that's okay. I'm just coloring as I feel like it. If my video has encouraged you to take some time for some creative self-care art making, if you are feeling encouraged to make some art, if it has been a while, whether or not it's my prompt or something else that you love, I would appreciate a thumbs up or a comment letting me know where you are in your creative self-care journey. And of course, if you have not yet, subscribe. I have my weekly creative self-care videos on Sunday. Better with Art. Ooh, wow, that is really bright. That's okay. So yes, Better with Art videos on Sunday. This series started on January 1st. Well, I guess it was maybe 2nd because the end of the 52-week art journal journey and staying with Sunday as the video day instead of skipping a day. I am rambling. That's okay. And I got that orange closer to the orange than I... Okay, Melinda, just probably should disengage your mouth and yes, invite everyone who has not yet to subscribe. I guess I already did that, but so I was in the midst of explaining that yes, my Saturday videos, Sunday videos with creative self-care prompts, and my studio videos, which, well, that series started after I finished the 100-day project and created 100 collage papers, different types of collage papers. Well, okay, so there were more than 100 papers, but there were 100 little shorts on YouTube and a weekly sort of recap summary of that week's videos. There is a marker that escaped. Those are on Wednesdays, and my studio videos, I would ideally like them to be every Wednesday, but like the emails, that is a pace I cannot keep up with right now. My priority is the Sunday creative self-care encouragement. I need to be sharing with others what I found in reclaiming my creativity. But there are studio videos, and almost weekly right now. Though Wednesday was definitely not a Wednesday this week. As mentioned, those are for more outside the art journal type art. This week was part 2 of how I created a recent piece that is currently on display at the Salmon River Fine Arts Center called Salmo Cellar, which is an abstract collage, an abstract translucent layer tissue paper collage specifically, that was inspired by a close-up look at the side of a salmon. It is part of the Hooked on the Salmon River annual juried art show. So in part 1, I showed some of how I created the papers, and in part 2, a little bit more about the texture and how I put it all together. Do I want to use any more of these colors? Oof. I wonder what this green is like. That works. Sometimes I test my colors before I just throw them on willy-nilly, which may have caused me to not use that particular orange, but this is unfolding in an interesting way. And I will let you lovely viewers go on about your day, hopefully to make some art if you haven't started already. Reclaiming my creativity and and establish a regular art making practice was transformative for me. And as I mentioned, I need to share what I have found in art with others. We are wired for creativity, made in the image of the Creator. And when we are not taking time to exercise our creativity in ways we enjoy and find meaningful, we are not as healthy as we could be. And I am living proof of that. So take some time this week, now if you have it, and make some art. Your brain will thank you. And I am so glad you are here. And that I have had the opportunity to remind you that taking time for art is not a waste of time, and encourage you, even if I'm sounding like a broken record, to reclaim your creativity and practice creative self-care. There will be a link in the description for this particular art journal, which I now solely use in all of my videos and use for the art journaling groups at the library where I work. It has heavy pages that are ideal for all of the dry and wet and layered applications I have used it for. It is sold most economically in a 3-pack, and if that is not what you are looking for, also the details of the weight and type of paper are also in the description, because it is important to have heavy enough paper and not have it be cold pressed if you're going to be using markers, because it will destroy your markers. And if you are not ready to invest in an art journal, I would suggest, as well as paper, to maybe work on cardstock instead. I hope you have enjoyed my art break. I realized I missed this line over here. Of course, I sort of drew right over it too, but that's okay. Yeah, thanks for joining me and letting me tell you that we truly are better with art.